Hello, everyone. I don't know what's up with my camera. Once again, it looks like I'm super close to it when I'm not. But anyway, I decided I'm going to do a two-part deep vein thrombosis, DVT, and pulmonary embolism video, which is PE, because my research has taken me considerably longer than I expected it to, and I've had some other things going on in my life as well. Yeah, anyway. The first part is going to be about what deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism are, basically, what the symptoms are, some about the warning signs. And part of the reason also that I've decided to do two different videos is because the information toward the end of my source, which is the Mayo Clinic, basically goes through, like it talks about the risk factors and the symptoms, and part of it is repeating stuff that I will have already said. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and make a video about the what it is and the symptoms and such as that, and then I'll do a second video which is also going to be risk factors, aka symptoms, pretty much, not necessarily, though they are kind of different, but anyway, and then also talk about complications that can arise from DVT, which of course one of those is pulmonary embolism. The most important one of those is. But so the first thing I want to do is tell you what deep vein thrombosis is. Of course, it's a medical condition. What deep vein thrombosis is a blood clot that develops deep within a vein, generally in your leg, either your calf or thigh. And of course, that can cause DVT. And DVT is a serious condition because the blood clots may loosen and become lodged in the lungs, which is what a pulmonary embolism is. That causes when it does that, it causes a pulmonary embolism. And this is actually from a different source, which I didn't have a chance to write down. And then when I went back to the internet to do some more research, I was unable to find that source, but it was a good source. But anyway, it said that there are more than 200,000 cases of deep vein thrombosis each year in the United States. And then the symptoms of deep vein thrombosis, sometimes there are, like the majority of the time, there are no symptoms whatsoever that you have deep vein thrombosis. So, yeah, that is because the blood clot forms deep in a deep vein, which is deep within your body. So it makes it kind of hard to feel that there is something going on, if that makes sense. The blood clot can block the blood clot can block the flow, the blood flow, and it often does. And when that happens, it causes pain and swelling near the veins that are close to the skin. Okay, so often there are no symptoms, but pain or symptom. Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to start this video over. I'm having another off day anyway. So often there are no symptoms since the clot is in a deep vein, which I've already said. If the clot blocks blood flow, pain and swelling may occur near veins close to the skin's surface, which causes the potential to restrict movement. In other words, it causes pain and swelling, like when my ankle and foot were swollen and painful. I didn't want to move them as much because it was swollen and painful. So, I realized that I had already said part of that before, but I was trying not to directly read it. And it's become obvious that if I don't directly read it, I'm going to get confused as to what I'm saying. And sometimes severe cases occur when a blood clot becomes loose in the leg vein, and the blood clot travels through the bloodstream to the heart or lungs. And as I said before, that is what causes a pulmonary embolism. Or what a pulmonary embolism is when the blood clot travels to the lung or heart and restricts the blood flow there. And this results in sudden and severe symptoms. It can cause death within a few hours if not treated. And then I was doing the 10 most common symptoms, and this is from my first source that I couldn't find when I went back, even though I bookmarked it, or I swore that I did. I must have not saved it to my certain title for my bookmarking stuff or something, because I couldn't find it when I went back. But anyway, so of these 10, I only have, I think, 2, maybe 3 of them in here. But then I go on to talk about symptoms anyway from Mayo Clinic. But the 10 most common symptoms of, or the 3 that I have written down, or possibly just 2, of DVT are leg pain or tenderness, particularly when standing, climbing. It said climbing stairs. I'm like climbing in general, I would think, or walking. It says it may happen in the leg, foot, ankle, or arm, different places that these symptoms may occur. And then, of course, along with pain, or sometimes by itself, another symptom is swelling, and it says it's usually unilateral, which means on one side of the body. Bilateral swelling of legs does not usually indicate DVT, but DVT can cause swelling on both sides of the body because it's possible you may have more than one blood clot, and it might be on each side, you know. I apologize for my phone. I'm not going to silence it because I have a missing dog that I keep hoping someone's going to contact me about. So far has not happened. She's been missing a week today. But anyway, yes. And then I made the note that I couldn't find the website that had those 10 symptoms on it. So the other information that I will be sharing is from mayoclinic.org. And of course, it is on the topic of deep vein thrombosis, which also includes pulmonary embolism. So the listed symptoms that they have include swelling in the affected leg, and it says rarely may be swelling in both legs, pain in your leg. The pain often starts in the calf and can feel like cramping or soreness. Now, I think that would only be true if the deep vein thrombosis, the blood clot, was in your calf. If it's in your thigh, then the pain's probably going to start in your thigh, right? Anyway, and then I said another site, which was that first one that I was using, said that the pain or cramping may feel like pressure or pinching in your leg. So not necessarily feel like cramping or soreness, but might feel like pinching or just pressure in your leg. Another symptom is red or discolored skin on the leg, which there are other things that could be as well, but it could be a sign of deep vein thrombosis. A feeling of warmth in the affected leg. And I said once more, it needs to be mentioned that deep vein thrombosis often has no symptoms at all. That's why it's so dangerous, and the pulmonary embolisms are so dangerous, because often you don't know that there's anything going on until it's too late. And some of the causes of DVT are having a medical condition that affects how your blood clots. One that causes it to clot too much, of course, if you have one that keeps it from clotting, I don't feel like that would be an issue for causing blood clots, if you know what I mean. And also, one of the things that causes it is not moving for a long time. Like truck drivers, pilots, people who are driving or flying a lot of the time don't move a lot. And other examples of that, of course, are people who have had surgery or an accident because you're on bed rest, or like pregnant women who are on bed rest for a prolonged period of time. And then it says, or when you travel for a long distance, which I already mentioned, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be for work. Some people just like to travel, and traveling, not getting out, moving around, or even getting out and moving around for a while, your blood isn't circulating in your legs as it should be when you're traveling those long distances. It looks real grainy today for some reason, but anyway, I've been having a little bit of an issue with my internet, and we changed carriers, and I haven't asked my boys if they've had any issues. As far as I know, they haven't, but I've noticed, mine's been a little laggy, but anyway, it's supposed to be faster. And I also made a note, which this was from a JSTOR article that I had looked up on deep vein thrombosis, which was particularly about pregnant women. And so, of course, some pregnant women develop DVT, not necessarily because they're on bed rest, but because of the increased weight that they carry on their body while carrying their baby. And so this is the part that talks about pulmonary embolism in particular. And a lot of this, as I said, is repetitive, very redundant. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do this video because a lot of it I'm going to be repeating, but it's all important information for people to know. When a blood clot in your vein breaks loose and travels through the bloodstream and gets stuck in a person's lungs, it blocks blood flow, which is a pulmonary embolism. So this was in the section about pulmonary embolism, and I mentioned whenever I talked about that this could occur at least 2 other times, I believe, that is what a pulmonary embolism is. Pulmonary embolism may occur with no evidence of DVT. So like I said, a lot of times DVT has no symptoms whatsoever. And if you don't have the symptoms of DVT, then no one's going to know that you had that going on. And you can still have a pulmonary embolism, and they'll be like, that's what happened. But they may not ever know that you had the DVT. Mayo Clinic says when the two occur together, deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism, it is called venous thrombolism, or VTE, venous thrombolism. And there's mention of VTE later, which I believe will be in my next video. So I need to make a note in that area as to what exactly VTE is to remind myself and my viewers. And it says if symptoms of DVT develop, you should contact your doctor. However, if symptoms of PE develop, you should seek emergency medical care, because PE is a life-threatening condition. As I said earlier, a pulmonary embolism can cause death within a few hours of it occurring. And if you don't realize you're having symptoms of it, you may not even know that's what's going on until it has already happened. I believe I may have had a family member actually who passed away from pulmonary embolism years and years and years ago, and no one really knew there was anything going on. I mean, she had some mini strokes and stuff, but nobody knew what was going on until that happened. And then this talks a little bit about warning signs of PE. And I already talked about the symptoms of DVT. So if you missed those, feel free to rewatch, But the warning signs of PE are sudden shortness of breath, chest pain, or discomfort that worsens when taking a deep breath or coughing, lightheadedness, dizziness, or fainting, rapid pulse, rapid breathing, or coughing up blood. And a lot of these can also be symptoms of other stuff. But if you're coughing up blood, and these are symptoms that if you have, you should immediately go to the emergency room. You know, sudden shortness of breath. It could be a heart attack. It could be pulmonary embolism. It could be something else. Chest pain or discomfort that worsens when taking a deep breath or coughing. That's always a real bad sign. Could be something else, but it could be a pulmonary embolism. You need to get it checked out. Lightheadedness, dizziness, or fainting. That could be a lot of things, but it could be a pulmonary embolism, which would not be good. Rapid pulse also, could be a lot of things. Rapid breathing could be a lot of things. Coughing up blood could be a couple of things, but you should go to the emergency room and get it checked out immediately. So the common causes of DVT are anything that prevents your blood from flowing and therefore circulating the way that as it should, or clotting in the manner it normally would. And some examples of that are damage to a vein during surgery, also trauma and inflammation due to an infection or injury. I was thinking it talked a little bit more about that, but actually it might not. But yeah, those are some common causes of DVT. Anything that prevents your blood from flowing or clotting in a manner it normally would, as I talked about before. Sitting for long periods of time, traveling for long periods of time. I want to say also included in that would be laying down for long periods of time. Like, a lot of our senior citizens in nursing homes or in hospitals, or other people for that matter in nursing homes or hospitals, just lay in their bed pretty much all day, and they need to be rotated regularly. And really, someone should be doing range of motion exercises with them that will help their blood to circulate and help prevent stuff like DVT and PE. Sadly, a lot of times that doesn't happen. But also, as I said, main causes are damage to a vein during surgery or trauma and inflammation due to an infection or injury. Like, now that I've gotten older, I noticed yesterday I have a whole bunch of bruises, like a series of bruises down the front of my left calf. And I kept going, why does my leg hurt so bad? And I was looking at it and I was like, oh yeah, when I was getting into my son's car, I think is when it happened. I bumped my leg against the door frame sort of kind of thing. And now that I've gotten older, I bump myself, I bump into stuff a whole lot more than I used to. And those are accidents that could affect your veins deep inside your leg, or not even the ones that are deep inside your legs, but they could cause a deep vein thrombosis and therefore eventually cause a pulmonary embolism. So we need to be careful especially as we get older, but we need to be careful about what we do and try not to injure ourselves and cause bruises a lot. But this video didn't take quite as long as I was thinking it probably would, but I'm still going to do it in 2 videos. So I will try to do this one tomorrow, but I'm not going to make a promise on that because I don't know what I'm going to have going on tomorrow for sure. I might even make it later today. But the next part is going to be, and I need to write out to the side about, that's what the next one's going to be about, will be about the risk factors of deep vein thrombosis, and therefore also risk factors of pulmonary embolism, since it's caused by deep vein thrombosis. So I don't think I'll be doing 2 separate videos on each topic, but I decided to do the one about the risk factors for deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism separately. And it's also going to talk about the complications that can arise from deep vein thrombosis, of course, the most serious one being pulmonary embolism. But yeah, a lot of that, as I said, will be repeated information, but the risk factors are not repeated, most of them. I haven't talked about the majority of the risk factors yet. So make sure that you do watch that video so that you can get that information. I'm going to go ahead and go for now. So everyone have a good whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive. Take care of those that you love and care about. Oh, yes. And I always forget to say at the first of my video, and I don't know how many people watch it to the end of my video, but please subscribe, like the video if you like it. Feel free to comment and share my videos or my channel with your friends and on your social media and so forth, etc., etc., etc. I don't know why I always forget to say that at the first of the videos, and I'm like, if no one watches my videos all the way through, then no one's going to be subscribing, right? But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go for now, and I will try to do that other video. I might do it later today, but probably I'll probably do it tomorrow.